This hasn't aged gracefully at all. Late-night programs once focused on humor, giving viewers a light-hearted laugh before bedtime. But ever since Trump came onto the scene, these shows have morphed into overt political platforms. If this shift were considered wrongdoing, Jimmy Kimmel would rank among the top culprits. The truth is, he's been fixated on Trump. Just a fortnight before the election, he even appeared on MSNBC's Morning Joe, making outrageous statements that haven't held up over time. Today, we're diving into the entire story.
I'm not hysterical. I laugh when people say, oh, you've got Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
If you're a reasonable person, you should have Trump derangement syndrome. Right. And by the way, I think he has derangement syndrome about us, too. The fact of the matter is, this is a dangerous person. This is a stupid person. And that's a bad combination. And I think what we're forgetting, I keep forgetting it, and I have to keep reminding myself, is he's not just running for president. He's running to stay out of prison. And that's a pretty powerful thing. He is literally running for his...
What am I even supposed to respond with? He starts off by saying, I'm not hysterical, only to immediately prove he's completely unhinged. Typical Jimmy, his obsession with Trump isn't just a passing phase. It's practically become a second career. It's as if Trump lives rent-free in his mind, with no chance of eviction. You'd think Trump had personally wronged him, judging by the way he acts. But that's just TDS at work. Logic doesn't factor in. It's all an emotional meltdown disguised as political commentary. Jimmy probably imagines himself as the voice of reason. Yet there's nothing rational about his apocalyptic theatrics, a fact that became painfully clear when he hosted a Beatles icon.
Here, how are you?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Are you an American citizen?
No.
You are not.
Can you tell by my accent?
Are you worried at all?
No.
You're not. Why not?
Why would I be worried?
You know, they're knocking on doors.
Hey, I'll come to you and you can say...
I'll throw my body right over you, believe me.
Believe me, credit goes to Ringo for not falling for it. This is the same mindset that convinced a portion of voters that a second Trump term would somehow lead straight to concentration camps. It's pure panic. But that's the goal. Keep people terrified so rational thought goes out the window. That's the real danger of fear-mongering. It's never truly about reality. It's about control. Scare people enough, and they can be nudged into voting a certain way. That's why Jimmy was so clearly hoping Ringo would hop on the panic train. But he didn't. Unlike some faded stars who mindlessly echo the script handed to them, Ringo ignored the doomsday act that you'd think people would eventually recognize the pattern. Yet here we are, watching the same recycled fear tactics play out again and again. Even Scott Jennings has commented on how late-night hosts increasingly act like full-time activists, and he raised some valid points.
The rest of these people have become pathetic. They stopped being comedians and they started becoming political activists. Jimmy Kimmel out here crying. It's pathetic. And so my question is, if you're going to have a late night comedy show, at some point people might expect it to be funny and not just a constant political screed against one party. And I don't know that this activism for 4 more years is sustainable if you're going to market something as comedy, but the actual product is nothing more than sort of lowbrow political.
If they mock the left and its absurd policies, who would keep their paychecks flowing? The problem is that they've been disingenuous for so long that audiences are beginning to lose interest. It's as if they've forgotten that true comedy is supposed to target everyone, not just one side. As a result, ratings are slipping across the board.
Point. During the Biden years, there was nobody that provided more comedy fodder possible than Joe Biden. He was a walking...
He was made fun of.
He was absolutely not.
He was left alone.
Harris was left alone.
No.
They got nothing. They didn't get 10% of what they deserved.
He's too old.
Meanwhile, over on Fox, Gutfeld is leading the charge. He's pulling in impressive numbers because he comes across as authentic, not putting on a facade. Things have gotten so bad that NBC is scaling back The Tonight Show, airing it only 4 nights a week instead of 5. That's a significant shift in the late-night landscape. If the show were still connecting with viewers, those cuts wouldn't be happening. In a way, it reflects the changing times. Piers Morgan also weighed in on the Megyn Kelly show, and unsurprisingly, he didn't hold back.
Say further, Megyn, what the hell happened in late night? in America. When Johnny Carson was the king of late night, nobody knew who he voted for. Nobody knew. He made a point of mocking both sides. Jay Leno said yesterday, he said, I don't like Trump, but it was a great week for democracy. And salute to Jay Leno. I interviewed him last year about this. He doesn't understand why these late night guys want to be so obviously partisan. Why? And they're all partisan one way. And there's a reason why Greg Gutfeld is kicking all their backsides in late night on Fox. And it's because he's genuinely funny.
Exactly. It's as if they're stuck in their own echo chamber. The moment they stop catering to the woke crowd, they risk alienating the small audience they still have left. What late night has turned into is a contest. Who can virtue signal the most? Who can prove they're on the right side of history? Comedy and genuine jokes have taken a back seat. Now it's all about checking off every trendy cause.
I think they're sort of preaching to some weird choir that wants them to be terribly serious and take all this very personally when their guy or woman in this case doesn't win an election. We don't give a stuff. Just be funny. And one of the things that I don't watch any of them anymore, but I see the clips. They're so worthy. The virtue signaling is so pathetic. Get over yourselves and go back to being funny.
You can see it in their style as well. Real humor has been overshadowed by lecturing and moral grandstanding. Need proof? Just look at Jimmy Kimmel on that same Morning Joe segment, parading his supposed moral superiority.
What do you think, though, is happening in the country where you have 2 weeks out, and it's one thing to just look at Donald Trump and look at some, senators, but we're actually talking about 70, 75, 80 million people.
Yeah. I think we're focused on the wrong things. I think we're being focused on the wrong things. I think that there are certain news networks, if you want to call them that, who are lying to people. I think that there's a certain generation of which we are a part who are used to watching television and seeing the white man in a suit telling us what's going on in the world and believing that what he's...
The level of hypocrisy is staggering. It's as though Jimmy fails to realize he's part of the very group he claims to condemn. Somehow, he manages to criticize others while fully embodying the same behaviors himself.
I think that is ingrained in us as Americans. We grew up with Dan Rather and Tom Brokaw and Peter Jennings, and we did not question that what they were telling us was factual. And a lot of people now are looking at Sean Hannity and whomever else, and they are not questioning whether or not what they're saying is factual. And what they're hearing is untrue. And I can understand why they think what they think, because they're being told there's a caravan of migrants coming, and then nobody's following up at the end and saying, oh, there was no caravan of...
After Trevor Noah's exit, there's practically no diversity or inclusion left in late-night television. So if these hosts genuinely believe in the values they preach, shouldn't they lead by example? By that logic, every single one of them should step aside and make room for fresh voices. But of course, that's not going to happen. They talk the talk, but walking the walk seems to be beyond them. The question lingers: how long can audiences keep watching before they start demanding real change? Who will actually take the first step? If anyone at all, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's spark a conversation in the comments down below. And if you want your friends to be just as informed as you are, please share this video with them.